Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome back to my Astrology 101. Today, we are going to finish off exploring those zodiac signs. Now, if you haven't seen my first 3 Astrology 101s, I'd highly recommend that you go back and you start at the beginning. Start with your astrological birth chart. It's an introduction to exploring those multiple zodiac signs of yours. And then, of course, part 1 and part 2 of the Zodiac, because they all build off of each other. I have put a link below to the playlist so that you can easily go back and check out the foundational pieces and build off your knowledge of not only the Zodiac, but of yourself. In today's session, we will be going through the final 5 Zodiac signs. We are going to kick things off with Scorpio, obviously the scorpion. This is the picture that the stars create. Little bit of artistic liberties here. Scorpio is the other M symbol. In the last session, we did connect into the first M sign, the maiden, Virgo, who had the other M piece. This one has a little bit of a tail to it, so I always remember the scorpion. So, Scorpio, or some people know it as Scorpius. Both are right. One is Latin, one is not. Or is based off the Latin. I'm not entirely sure. But you may see Scorpio as written as Scorpius. Sun sign, October 23rd to November 21st. And of course, you can see in this graphic how the scorpion is created in the stars. Ruling planet, Pluto and Mars. We know it represents a scorpion. The mythology behind it, of course, was the scorpion that was sent to kill Orion. Like I said in the last couple sessions, the mythology behind each of these zodiac, it's fascinating. They are interesting stories and help to explain the symbol itself. The major arcana, because I'm a tarot girl, the major arcana of death. And like I have said in the last sessions, you can get a minor arcana. However, it's multiple minor arcana, and there's a system to it. So I'm going to have to explain it in a different session one time. Colors, deep red and black. The crystals, malachite, labradorite, and clear quartz. And like I have said in past sessions, these are suggestions. They are not mandatory. Use the crystals that connect in and resonate with you. The high vibrational attributes. And like I've been saying all along, some people may find some of these high vibrational attributes overwhelming. This is just what society considers high vibrational. Of course, the water element, we have that very mysterious energy. The people who have predominant Scorpio in their astrological birth chart, especially their sun sign, that mysterious, that sexy energy, it rolls off of them. Additionally, because we are looking at the water, we do have the emotion, the caring, the intuitive and insightful aspects. And I'm not sure why, but I have insightful twice, so apparently it was needed twice. Scorpio is also a very fixed energy. It's one of the fixed symbols. So we do get the very strong and determined. Fixed energies are not really great at adapting. Low vibration, controlling. Again, we have that very fixed energy. Power hungry, fixed energy. Scheming and vindictive. That's also part of the Mars world because of that Aries energy. You can get some disconnection. The pessimism could be considered part of the Pluto reign. Like I said, these are very complex signs. They are built up over lots of different elements. And that's why I'm going through them so slowly and carefully. On to Sagittarius, the final fire sign. Of course, we do have the centaur with the bow and arrow. Again, the symbol kind of looks like an arrow. The stars, lots of artistic elements here. Yeah, can you see the horsey? I can tell you, it's not what you think it is. See? The stars go above and below. Yeah, lots of artistic wiggle room here. And I love it. I love the fact there's such wiggle room here. The sun sign, November 22nd to December 21st. The ruling planet is Jupiter. Of course, it does represent a centaur, more specifically with a bow and arrow. However, again, we can see that. Mythology, it is around Chiron. Now, going into the mythology, when he did die, he was put into the zodiac, into the cosmos as Sagittarius. It gets confusing because there is a comet also named Chiron. I will explain that later on, but I did want to highlight that because you will see in your astrological birth chart, so I'll bring it up here, this symbol, it's Chiron. It's not Sagittarius, because can you get Chiron coming up in Sagittarius? Yes. So it really can get confusing. So, like I said, I will explain Chiron. I'll explain these other elements later on. We're building off of it. So, back to Sagittarius. The major arcana is Temperance. Colors, light blue, purple, and red. Crystals, lapis lazuli, amethyst, and smoky quartz. Could you add in a red crystal? Absolutely. Going into the high vibrational aspects, of course, you are going to get that very enthusiastic, straightforward, go energy, the fire. Yet at the same time, we do have a very positive, optimistic energy. It's interesting because with Jupiter being the ruling planet, that's more on the philosophy. So you're going to get the kind of truthful, wise energy for Jupiter. Additionally, because Jupiter does deal with travel, kind of that wanderlust, wanting to explore and do. Low vibrational, tactless, flighty, commitment phobic. Commitment phobic can be seen in a lot. I know I haven't really talked about it, but you can get commitment phobic in other fire signs. With Sagittarius and all its aspects, it really comes forward. So does the irresponsible. Again, only aspects. Going on to Capricorn. One of the most unique pieces. When you're looking at the different elements, you're like, oh yeah, so it's a crab, so it's a bull, a Taurus, whatever. This is Capricorn. It's its own entity. Part fish, part goat. And the symbol is kind of this weird N, a stylized N with a tail. So you got an N in Capricorn and you've got that fishy tail. How they got that out of this little triangle piece? Well, again, a little bit of artistic flair goes a long way. This is where the kind of triangle-y piece comes in. Capricorn, again, it too, like Scorpio, does have a Latin Capricornius. You can see that it's referring to the same zodiac. December 22nd to January 19th is the sun sign. Capricorn, of course, brings in the final season of winter. we have Saturn energy. It represents a sea goat. The primary mythology behind this is mythology behind the god Pan. Was he a sea goat? No. He was a satyr. Part goat, part human. However, that's the mythology behind it. The major arcana, the devil. Colors, brown, black, and dark green. Again, you're going to see a lot of these same colors in other earth energies. Tiger eye, black tourmaline, and garnet is the crystals. And this is the first, I believe, and quote me if I'm wrong, January's birthstone is garnet. It's the first time we've seen the match. We haven't, I don't think we've seen it yet. High vibration. Again, we have that very steadfast, patient, dependable, practical energy of the earth. Then we also have industrious, serious energy of Saturn, tapping into that philosophy aspect. Capricorn is one of the workhorses. It is the cardinal aspect, so it is that trendsetter. It is that go-getter. Low vibrational, unemotional, somber, because they're focused on getting that stuff done. Can be considered controlling because they have a very clear idea of what they want and they're not afraid to go get it. They will actually do. Going on to the Aquarius, the water bearer, that's an air sign. Oh, I can't tell you how many people are like, oh no, Aquarius is a water sign. You would have thought it. However, no, it's an air sign. So of course, it is considered the water bearer. Sometimes you see a jug pouring water. Sometimes you see a maiden or a person holding a water jug and pouring it out. It's known as the water bearer. Sure, the symbol, like the star picture here, I'll show it to you and you'll understand, but artistic liberties. Then you have this kind of double wave piece for water bearer. See, like I said, some artistic liberties were held. You can kind of see it a little bit better with the actual icon over top of it. However, it can be a little bit harder to identify when you're looking at it in the sky. Sun sign between January 20th to February 18th. So like Capricorn, planetary rule of Saturn and Uranus. Like I said, it represents the water bearer, and the mythology is the story of Prince, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, Ganymede. It's a fantastic story. I just can't say his name properly, and I apologize profusely. The major arcana is the star. The colors, blue, purple, and white. Of course, we do have the amethyst, which is the birthstone for February, labradorite, and moonstone. High vibrational attributes. Of course, you're going to have the intellectual communication pieces of the air sign. So with the planets, the eccentric piece right away, that's Uranus. Saturn is more of a kind of a karmic planet. You're going to get some of the objectivity, some of the intensity from Saturn. Yes, very friendly, very innovative, very independent. Low vibrational, very stubborn. Because again, Aquarius is a fixed energy, which again can come into the argumentative because they're not very flexible. We did see commitment phobic, which was also seen in Sagittarius. It has a lot to do with that fixed energy. Then we're going to go on to Pisces. This is the final zodiac. We got the fishy fishies. One fishy fishy, two fishy fishies. I'll let you know that. it does make sense if you look at it as like, instead of them swimming in a circle, that they are tail to tail. And again, you kind of have almost this weird stylized H. Honestly, two fishy fishies. See what I mean? Like they're tail to tail, not face to tail. They're not in the kind of yin yang symbol. So Pisces, February 19th to March 20th. Planetary rule, we've got Jupiter coming back and Neptune. Like I said, represents two fishy fishies. The mythology, which is really interesting, is Aphrodite and her son Eros. The major arcana is the moon. We do have the colors of turquoise and sea green. And again, we now have a double birthstone of amethyst and aquamarine. Amethyst, of course, being the birthstone for February, and aquamarine, the birthstone for March. And then fluorite. Love the fluorite. High vibrational. Of course, we're getting into the emotional aspects of water. Again, we have the creativity, very water related. When you're looking at the intuition, the creativity, the emotional pieces, the visionary, imaginative, those can come in on Neptune. The more poetic aspects, that visionary piece, that is where you're getting the Saturn influence. Low vibrational, lots of victim mentality, escapism, unreliable, flaky. There's not a lot of follow through, lots of great ideas, not a lot of great follow through. And again, depending on where the zodiac hit, will depend on which qualities you embrace or that are a part of you. So those are the 12. Like I said, I broke it up because of how much content it was. I didn't want you to sit for 45 minutes and by the end you get to Pisces and going, what fishy fishy? Because they're all very important. And like always, my friends, my Patreon community is going to be getting some cheat sheets on all this information so that they can keep it organized and help them remember all the information that's been thrown at you guys. Now, going forward, I'm going to start to add in the planets. So when we go back to the astrological birth chart here, you can see there's zodiac connected to planets. How do they interrelate? What does that mean for you? I do want to thank everybody for joining me today, and I hope that this did complete our journey through the zodiac system. Please let me know which of these 5 are predominant for you. And guys, if you haven't done so, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any further content, because I've got a lot more teaching and a lot more tools coming forward, and you don't want to miss any of it. And like I've mentioned before, if you're looking for an added layer of support, I do have a Patreon community. I did put a link below to my channel, so you can come check it out. Again, I want to thank you for finishing off this exploration into the zodiac signs, and I can't wait to start to dive in to all those amazing planets that were part of your astrological birth chart. Until tomorrow, my friends.